Our Bible text is Revelation 22, a portion of verse 16. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. So here in the book of Revelation, we learn more about the identity of Jesus, specifically him being the Davidic Messiah. Of course, the book of Revelation is written towards the end of the first century within the context of the Roman Empire. And the book of Revelation is essentially a thumbs down for the Roman Empire because it's evil, it's full of blasphemy, and it describes how Jesus will defeat the Roman Empire and also those who support and empower or help the Roman Empire. And at the end, the book of Revelation, of course, describes the new Jerusalem coming down from heaven, the new creation. This new Jerusalem will be a place of peace and blessing, and compared to Rome as the capital of the world that's full of sin, etc. Now we are at the epilogue of the book of Revelation. So now the author is closing the book off. Many things here in the epilogue is very similar to and parallel statements also made in the opening of Revelation. But if you look at the epilogue, that's chapter 22 from verses 6 to 21. And there's a whole series of sayings that's happening, about 13 sayings. And some are spoken by Jesus, some are said by the angel that tells John all the revelation things, and also some sayings are by John of Patmos. And maybe here and there's a saying, we're not too sure who's speaking. But there are various sayings. And what these sayings are, there are various exhortations, promises, but also warnings that are given to the faithful, to those who do not follow Jesus, etc. So there are exhortations, warnings, and promises. And there's also two important themes that also run parallel with that. The one is the authenticity of this prophecy that John's writing, and secondly, it's the nearness of the return of Christ. If we can bring emphasis here to some of these sayings here, there's about 5 that Jesus speaks in the first person. If we firstly go to verse 7, he says there, "Behold, I am coming quickly. Blessed is he who keeps the word of the prophecy of this book." So there, two important themes come together. Jesus saying, I'm coming quickly, and also hold on to the prophecy of this book, because the words that are in this book is true. And there's also other important sayings of Jesus. For example, the next one, verse 12, again is the promise, and behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me. And in verse 13, another saying of Jesus that refers to his identity. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And here, the same thing is said of God, the Father, in the book of Revelation. So here, God the Father and Jesus, they both are Alpha and Omega. So Jesus, the Son, the Lamb, other titles that are given, is closely associated with the Father. Jesus is also God with the Father, because he also has this title, I am the Alpha and Omega. And so these I am sayings of Jesus, also there's 3 specific I am sayings of Jesus. If we go to the first one, it already happens in chapter 1 verses 17, where Jesus says, I am the first and the last. Then the second one is this one that we just read, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And then our current text word is also another I am saying. Jesus says, I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. So there are these sayings of Jesus, and very important here is Jesus is connected with David, or the Davidic Messiah, in various ways. We must understand in the Old Testament, there was a specific understanding of the Davidic Messiah. He will be this warrior king, this conqueror. He'll come, he'll slay and judge Israel's enemies, and he will then, Israel as a people will then be redeemed, The exiles will return. There'll be a new temple in Jerusalem. And then, if that's in place, then the Gentiles will come to Jerusalem also. So salvation will also be in a way extended then because of this Davidic Messiah's activity. If you look at the Old Testament, there are various passages where the Davidic Messiah will judge or destroy Israel's enemies. And it is also an element of, because that will prepare then the way for the salvation of the Gentiles, who will then come to Jerusalem, etc. You can look at Numbers 24, Psalm 2 verse 9, Psalm 110, Isaiah 11, Isaiah 63, Jeremiah 23, and also Micah 5. Go look at those passages, because in various ways there it speaks of this Messiah, this Davidic king, who will come and slay the wicked and strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, etc. And so that was the dominant expectation of what the Davidic Messiah will be. This conquering king, this warrior. He'll come and slay the enemies, etc. Now, for the New Testament, that's mostly different, because Jesus wasn't this Davidic warrior king. He, instead of being this person who slew Israel's enemies for most of the New Testament, Jesus, of course, he's crucified on the cross. He's not this conquering hero. He conquers through death. He conquers death, sin, etc. He dies for people's sin. Very different kind of Messiah that was expected, or based on a normal expectation. The book of Revelation is the only book in the New Testament that depicts Jesus as this kind of Davidic warrior who will come slay and judge people's or God's enemies. So that's only in the book of Revelation. And specifically in the book of Revelation, Jesus is cast into this mold as this warrior Messiah. Of course, Jesus is also depicted as the one who was sacrificed. He's referred to as the Lamb. For example, Revelation 5 verse 6 and many other places. So that element is there. Jesus was slain. But of course, there's another element that also comes through. He's slain, but also he's this warrior Messiah is depicted in some passages in the book of Revelation. So this connection of Jesus to the Davidic Messiah, it comes through in different ways. If we first go to Revelation 5 verse 5 and 22 verse 16, there Jesus is just depicted as the Davidic Messiah. And you can compare those passages in Revelation with, go read Isaiah 11 verses 1 and also 10. Let's go to Isaiah 11. We read in verse 1, there shall come forth a rod from the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. That directly relates to our Bible text. There, Isaiah 11 verses 1. Also, if we go to verse 10, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, who shall stand as a banner to the people, for the Gentiles shall seek him, and his resting place shall be glorious. So our Bible text where it says, I am the root and the offspring of David, connects with these passages there in Isaiah. Also, if we go to Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 5, we read, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that I will raise to David a branch of righteousness. A king shall reign and prosper, and execute judgment and righteousness in the earth. So we see here how this language of Revelation is rooted in those prophecies in the Old Testament prophets and the Psalms that refers to this the coming Davidic king, this warrior king also. Also understand the book of Revelation is the book in the New Testament that most frequently quotes or alludes to passages of the Old Testament. So this is one of many examples that we find in the book of Revelation. So Jesus as the Davidic Messiah, as it's presented in 5 verses 5 and also 22 verses 16, our current Bible text, where it says, I am the root and the offspring of David. Also, the way Jesus is depicted, of course, is he will also punish or destroy God's enemies, but we'll come to that now. Also, what's important is that Jesus is the fulfillment of the Davidic covenant. Because there was a key promise to David that his heir would rule forever. And we find this idea of Jesus' eternal kingship if you go to Revelation 3 verses 7 and also Revelation 11 verse 15. And compare those Old Testament passages. Go read Isaiah 22 verse 22 and also 2 Samuel 7 verse 16, where specifically David's line is promised this eternal kingship. Then also, relevant to our Bible text, is that Jesus is the conquering Messiah. And that now refers back to those warrior king prophecies. That specifically comes through in Revelation 2 verse 27. Also go read Revelation 19 verses 11 to 21. That's also rooted in various Old Testament texts, but we can specifically look at Psalm 2 verses 9. So there's a clear connection here for the author, John of Patmos, between Jesus, who will come to the earth and he will conquer and slay the enemies. That's the only book in the whole New Testament that represents Jesus in this way, as the warrior Messiah. And that's what our Bible text refers to. I am the root and the offspring of David. In other words, that Davidic Messiah, that warrior Messiah, the way that Jesus is depicted in the book of Revelation. The second portion of our Bible text, where it speaks of Jesus as the bright and morning star. Now there are two elements to this. It's symbolic of a new dawn, a new era. The bright and morning star was also associated with Venus, the planet Venus, back in the day, and of course in a new dawn. Interestingly, Jesus is also referred to as the morning star in 2 Peter 1 verses 19. So you can also go read that verse. But here there's associations of a new dawn, of a new glory. It's the Messianic era that will dawn now. There's a glory of the Messianic era. Jesus being this bright and morning star. But also it refers to the Messiah, the Davidic Messiah in Jewish tradition. And it goes back to Numbers 24 verses 17, where it speaks of a star will come out of Jacob. In Jewish tradition, that Numbers 24 of a star that will come out of Jacob was associated also with the Messiah who will come. And in Jewish tradition, if we go actually look at Jewish history, there was two figures that was associated with this, being this the star figure that's spoken of in Numbers. If we go to the years 132 to 135 AD, there was something that happened that was called the Bar Kokhba revolt. And this Bar Kokhba, or son of the star, who was hailed as the Messiah, he was also killed in the last stand. Interestingly, also in the 1600s, there was a figure called Shabbatai Sevi. And he was a rabbi from Turkey. And in 1665, he was actually declared as the Messiah. And for the Jews in Europe, this caused great excitement. They thought, okay, the time of the Messiah is here now. And many sold their properties and this and that. But as it turned out, he converted to Islam in 1666. This was during the time of the Ottoman Empire, when the Ottomans controlled Turkey. So this son of the star and this bright and morning star also has messianic associations in Jewish tradition. Also, here in the book of Revelation, but it refers to Jesus. He is the Davidic Messiah, the fulfillment of God's promises to the house of David, that royal lineage that will continue forever. And like I said, the book of Revelation is the only book in the New Testament that depicts Jesus as this warrior Messiah who will come, who will judge, and even slay God's enemies. Specifically, go read the Revelation 19, the way it's depicted. But importantly, this informs us of Jesus' identity. There's so many titles for Jesus in the book of Revelation, but specifically here, where it connects Jesus, our Bible text, to him being the Davidic Messiah. Are you still thinking of what to buy for a loved one for Christmas? Here are 2 perfect gifts for Christmas. It's books that introduce you to the world of Jesus and the Gospels, and also to the life and letters of Paul. These are fascinating books that gives you insight into the history of the New Testament and the world it was written. It tells us about the world of Jesus and Paul. These books are also richly illustrated with graphs, with many images and maps. So it's a fascinating read. And on top of that, it's great value for money. Full color books printed make wonderful Christmas gifts, and these 2 books are also available as e-books. So visit our sales page on our church's website. All the information is there.